Well, hello and welcome to Man of Minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going deep today. We're going to realign some things today. Don't worry, we're not going to do it on our own. I mean, after all, we got King Solomon here to share some of his wisdom with us, written right here in the good old book. Like to remind you, it's all in the book, right? So, we're going to take a look at this today. Oh, well, before I forget, why don't you just let me say welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today. And yeah, I'm just sharing another video clip with you today. I think it's going to be one that you're going to enjoy. Now, take enjoyment in the video clip because, like I said, we're going deep today. It's not going to be terrible, but it is going to be one of those ones that's going to make you think. And I think that the video clip is going to set us up just perfectly for that. So let me go ahead and share that with you now. You can take a look at that, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. That's better. A Man a Minute with Daniel Earl. Take my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold, for wisdom is better than jewels, and all that you may desire cannot compare with her. Proverbs 8, 10, and 11. The unimaginably wealthy King Solomon, he had the gold, he had the jewels, he had the palace, he had the chariots, he had it all, and reminds us today to shift our priorities to wisdom. While we may all be tempted to view wisdom as a means to an end, Solomon reminds us wisdom is the means and the chief end. So above all, get the wisdom. Well, what do you think? Yeah, there's something to think about, huh? And we are going to be talking about that today, and I'm also going to be talking about this guy right here who's on my fancy t-shirt. And yeah, go ahead and comment now if you know who this guy is on the t-shirt before we get to him. But we are going to be talking about today the values. And here's the thing, Solomon, he talks a lot about this. It goes on, and this isn't going to be the last time that he's going to create a juxtaposition. Boy, there's a big 25-cent word, and I'm going to be throwing out another one later too. But for those of you who don't know, what's a juxtaposition? Is setting two things on a basically a level plane so we can compare them. So compare and contrast. We're going to set these two things side by side and take a look. That's the basic definition of it, right? Money, does it have value? Sure, it absolutely has value, and especially in our society, we are taught about money and about finances from an early age, and I think more and more, especially in American society. I don't even think we realize it because we're so brought up in it, but the inundation that comes at us. Think about just today the number of billboards, the number of advertisements, the number of commercials, and we've been guilty of it. I mean, we ran a product, the Shred and Snooze. We had that on 2 days ago. Still haven't had any orders for the Shred and Snooze. We're waiting on that to come in. But we are consistently inundated with, here are new products, new services, new ways in which you can participate in the economy. And economy participation's not bad. You know, Solomon, he had all this money. Guess what? Not bad. He's not condemning money. And he's going to, as we go deeper in Proverbs, he's going to put several things up here side by side and say, let's take a look at these two things, right? But we can be very tempted to prioritize money in such a way that is very unhealthy. And it kind of stems from, and here's that other word, a hedonistic lifestyle. What's a hedonistic lifestyle? And here's the thing, I think that it's so pervasive and so invasive, it sneaks into the church, it sneaks into religion, it sneaks into our philosophies. It's basically a self-indulgent lifestyle, okay? Which means that I'm consistently placated or satisfied. I told you we were going deep. Okay. So when we look, do you see? All right. I mean, I haven't even got like 2 feet into this. We already know exactly how this even affects religion. It affects philosophy, because we are so tempted to think that if I like pineapple more than banana and God sends me pineapple, then I'm in his favor. But if he only sends bananas, then I guess I must have done something to displease him. Now, I know I took a really simple analogy there, and that's because we're in a sensitive area. I don't want to offend anybody and throw you, get you to jump off this bus before we can come to the stop, right? But here's a man right here, right? Johnny Cash. That's who's on the T-shirt, and yeah, that's when he was arrested there. And a man who had it all, right? I mean, he had fame, he had money, he was living a lifestyle, and as much as he could indulge everything, he was indulging and embracing everything he possibly could, right? But couldn't find peace with God, couldn't anchor himself in wisdom. For all that he had, he could not do that until one day he did. And Johnny Cash confessed to being a Christian, giving his life over to God. And we saw fruits and evidence of that. I mean, he traveled with Billy Graham, and for the majority of the latter part of his life, his testimony was a strong Christian testimony, talking about all the great things that God had done for him. And I just say that to put it into perspective. Talk to people. Talk to people who are wealthy. And you say, well, I am a person who's wealthy. Great. Then you know, right? And if you don't, talk to someone who's wealthy and see if you could get them to trade off, right? Because here's the thing. We can make money. Money can come and go. I mean, you can make money and you can lose money, right? But once you have wisdom, it's pretty hard to lose wisdom. I mean, there are some things you could do to lose wisdom, technically. I mean, I guess you could, fall off a horse if you're me and, get a concussion or something and lose your memory. But, wisdom's a pretty difficult thing to shake. It pretty much stays with you for the rest of your life. And so now, we're just going to turn to hot topics in the news, right? I think about Kanye, right? And some of us know that, some of us don't know that. But when I think of stories like this, it makes me think, sometimes celebrities, they're very sincere when they come to a knowledge and an understanding of those things that have been missing, those things that are greater than them. We just have to pay attention, watch and see how it turns out. Even on a state level, when we think about the value of wisdom, this is slightly political, but even the state of Indiana, the teachers are engaged right now in saying, hey, we think education could be done better. That's coming from the teachers. We think education could be done better. And I applaud that. I love to see our educators standing up and saying we see a value here in knowledge and instruction and education, and we want to do the very best that we can. Listen, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this. I'm going to wrap this one up for today. I want you to join me for future editions of Man of Minutes, because we have just kind of scratched the surface on this whole topic. It's going to come back up in Proverbs. He's going to continually bring up wisdom and bring up other things and bring up wisdom and bring up this and all these other things. He's going to put them side by side and help us focus in on the fact that pursuit of wisdom is not wasted pursuit. Remember, my dear friends, to be good, have fun, do it in that order, good Lord willing. We will join you here again tomorrow for another episode of Man of Minutes and continue on in the book of Proverbs. Thank you so much.